Hello everyone, I'm here once again with Blue Dragon 5.
Hello everyone. And folks, with us today is the man who survived the trials and tribulations of the first season of Who Reviews the Reviewers. The man named after what makes time travel possible. What fuels what makes time travel possible. Please give a hand for the magnificent Mr. Fusion.
Hey,
Yay!
you know, I honestly cannot say trials and tribulations anymore. It always comes out trials and tribulations. I've watched too much Star Trek.
There's no such thing. Unless it's the J.J. Abrams films, and then that's just... That just kills me.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a good amount of J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Oh, I hate to say it, but I don't think there's a good amount of anything J.J. Abrams, unless I'm gonna make this caveat, unless it's Forever Young or Regarding Henry, the one of the great movies that Harrison Ford is in.
I enjoyed the one episode of Lost I ever saw.
Yeah, I actually recently tried watching Lost, and I just couldn't care. And I even let Geekvolution know that fact, because I was rewatching their Trexperts on all the things that aren't Star Trek that are sci-fi that they enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I left a comment saying I tried watching Lost, Cap, but I just couldn't care. And that was in the pilot, and I'm like... I've seen clips and that of it, and I really still was like, oh, I am so not caring right now. But anyway, speaking of Geekvolution, we're here to talk about the competition that Lance entered and is now judging Who Reviews the Reviewers. And you, Lance, were part of the first season. I assume that you were pretty excited when you found out that you were going to be part of that first season. And yeah,
it really was. It was something that sort of came to me. I'd never seen any of Geekvolution's videos before. I had just finished my my Power Rangers Super Sentai series, and I just hit 100 subscribers at that point too, and a YouTube user named PRPHD. I'm not even sure if he's still around anymore. But I know he's auditioned at least a couple of times for Who Reviews Reviewers as well. He sent me.
I have as well. Mm-hmm. I have as well. The second two seasons, because I wasn't able to enter the first season. But I think my first entry was better than my second entry. But I rewatched that video and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I think he auditioned in the first two seasons. But yeah, he sent me a message around that time saying you should check this out. I think you should have more, expand your viewership, and you should be exposed to more viewers. I think you should try this contest out. And I was getting ready to move it around that time. So I had no idea what I was going to do. I knew I had to do a 2-minute audition video. I checked this out, and I was like, well, if I can think of something to do that I don't want to, I don't want to take something I've been really, passionate about reviewing and boil it down to 2 minutes, because I didn't want to just, waste it on that, for lack of a better term. I want to do a big video on something. So I was like, if I can find something I'm interested in that I want to just, only have 2 minutes of, material to talk about, that I can have time to work on while I'm doing this move, then I'll do it. It just so happened that a friend of mine and I, right before I moved, we rented a movie called Me and Orson Welles. And at that moment, I was like, okay, that's it. I can do this. I like this. This is actually a pretty interesting thing to do a really short review about. So, so I did that, and I made my move, and I hoped for the best. And to my delight, I was chosen as one of the 8.
Mm. Did you have to wait for the video to come out to find out that you were a part of the series?
Yeah. So like the way that I don't think this is giving away anything that people don't need to know, because I didn't know this until a year later when I was actually being a judge. Is that we all of the judges watch the entry videos separately from each other, and they assign in ranking their top 12, and each of those gets a point based on, like, the number 12 pick will get 1 point, while the number 12 and the number 1 pick will get 12 points, and so on. And then Captain Logan will take all of those tallies and add them up, and the 8 highest scores are the ones who get into the contest.
Okay, cool. I bet you mine all got 0.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. Only Captain Logan knows what all the numbers were.
Anything you want to ask about his before the contest started? Blue Dragon 5 of Lance.
Yeah. Well, how familiar were you with all the shows of the judges, or just the judges in general? Manos, Eric.
Not at all. Like I said, I'd never even heard of Geekvolution before. PhD sent me that suggestion that I do that. I'd never followed any of the other judges as well. Never heard of any of them.
I trust you did afterwards.
Oh yes, of course. I'm very, very pleased to have gotten involved with such a wonderfully talented group of people who are also quite fun to hang out with as well.
Mm.
I mean, it's no surprise that our that our deliberations now take about 3.5 hours to do, and it's just because we have fun talking to each other, and of course have lots to discuss, obviously, but just a good chemistry between all of us.
For those listening, just what really, I know you kind of answered this already, but what really helped you find the courage to participate in this contest? Like, what emotionally really got you into saying, okay, I'm going to do this?
I mean, I'm not sure if it was that emotionally based. Like I said, it was just that interesting time in my quote unquote YouTube career, if you want to call it that, where it's like, I've been doing videos for over a year. I just now gotten to 100 subscribers. My Power Rangers series hadn't really taken off at that. Actually, it's kind of surprising because those are like some of my highest viewed videos now are my Power Rangers series. But at the time,
half those views are mine, by the way.
But I mean,
I watch them quite frequently, but I do love that series of yours. Yeah,
and some of them are about to reach 100,000 views at this point. But I remember at about that time, and they were really slow to catch on. I remember tallying up all 5 of them at the time and coming up with a total of 1,492 views for the entire series. So, it's like, PR PhD seemed to kind of push the right buttons with me when he told me that he thought that I should have a bigger audience than I do. And I was, I guess sort of my ego kind of kicked in. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should have a bigger audience than I do right now. I should do this contest.
Yeah. Thank you, PR PhD.
Yeah, because who knows we would have replaced you as the entrant in some parallel universe where you didn't enter Who Reviews the Reviewers.
Remind me of this man's name again.
Mr. Fusion. Yeah.
No. I mean the guy who got him into it.
PR PhD.
Okay, making sure. Thank you if you're listening.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, I've never asked him, but I'm fairly certain that means that he's implying he has a doctorate in the subject of Power Rangers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have that doctorate. I'm trying to get my doctorate in Doctor Who right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have it in Star Trek, but mainly that's through the modern stuff.
I've got an unofficial master's in Pixar and Batman the Animated Series. It's unofficial though.
No. I'm sure you've got that because of the amount of knowledge that you have with that is amazing. But moving right along. You ended up going through quite a few interesting challenges. The first one was kind of rocky.
You were running through this giant tunnel, have these little pink balls thrown at you that would inflate you if they hit you, right? No, wait, that's Monsters University. Back to Hoover.
No. That first challenge, it seemed like the judges at least had problems getting across what exactly they wanted, because quite a few people were delivering things that weren't exactly what they wanted. Seemed that they wanted a specific object, not like a general object overall.
Well, having been doing this for a while now, I do, in retrospect, see, it seems more obvious to me now. Part of my whole strategy in doing Who Reviews the Reviewers, or at least the videos that I made for them, which is kind of funny now, because I remember in this season, Captain Logan insisted that all the contest entries be labeled as contest entries in their titles. But my goal, even from the audition video, which is why I made up that whole new section that I never use called Fusion Quickies, for short, just to be a short review of its own accord, was that my idea was that I wanted these videos to not only be contest entries, but to be able to stand alone on my channel as videos I would normally make. So that people could come in and watch the videos who had no idea there was a contest, or if it was years later and it was old news, they could come in and watch a video and not have to have all this continuity baggage going on with them. So like when I was given this challenge of reviewing an everyday household object, my first panicky thought was, how in the hell am I going to do this? How is this going to fit in with the things I do on my channel? How am I possibly going to make this into something that people can just come to my channel and watch and not be completely confused?
Fusion, a moment in time.
So yeah, you reviewed a fork?
Yes, I reviewed a fork in the style of the newsreel from the beginning of Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's been a while since I've seen Citizen Kane, and because I was actually watching your retrospective, which I will hopefully get to. I'm not going to do this for every season. I'm just getting familiar with how you did things.
Overall, I love your retrospectives, Fusion. I really do. Like how you do that documentary style.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really do, especially with Dragon Ball sections.
Yeah, Dragon Ball not being my thing, I haven't watched those. Sorry.
That's okay.
How do you guys? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I loved your commentaries on Power Rangers, especially how you corrected a very minor mistake that you made in one of them about the departure of
David Yost.
Yeah, who
commentaries are always good.
I watched his thing that you mentioned in that the pink spandex, I think it's called, the interview that he did.
Yeah, no pink spandex.
Yeah, that's it. The very emotional and everything.
But still, it was very emotional and very, very poignant to watch. But it drove me crazy because that came out literally a week after I'd made that video.
Yeah.
so it was immediately my speculation was immediately debunked. I was like, oh, geez, it was so soon after I'd done that.
Mm.
And of course that's still the comment that I get most often. I mean, I've corrected that in the description. I put it in the commentary. I put an annotation into the actual video over that part. And that's still the most frequent comment I get is, no, it's because they said he was gay. That kind of stuff. And I was like, come on, people. How many times can I correct this before you people are going to catch on?
But Fusion.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, now you have a perspective on the matters, looking back at it. How do you feel about just the idea of, for the first challenge, reviewing inanimate objects? Hey, anything that figures into genuine, actual reviewing?
I think it was a very good, very creative type of challenge to do, and I agree now that mine really didn't classify as a review. I still love that video, and I wish it would get more views, because I think it's really, really funny, creative little bit that I did. But I agree that it's not necessarily a review.
Mm.
Yeah, so like when Tick says spoon.
Moving right along, unless there's anything else you want to add about that.
No, I'm good.
I like the other contestants also had some good object videos in addition to the fork.
Mm.
Like I really love Shades at Night's scissors video. I remember Dan did the plunger.
Yeah, they were all very good. But it was obvious that they needed to be the judges probably needed to be a bit more clearer about what they wanted.
I think Brilliant was the lamp.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
He totally dominated. He won that round. He won that round with his
Yeah.
review.
Mm.
He was the initial front runner. Mm-hmm.
Fusion, did you have was there any contestant you were kind of hoping would win if you didn't?
I think at the end with me and Krellian and Evil Professor, I think any of those two guys deserve to win. So all those guys were awesome. I really I kind of miss getting to compete with them, but
a lot of good contestants, but I think the one I was really rooting for throughout that first season, and I don't know, you impressed me, sir. It's just I really, from the beginning, I was kind of on the board with this guy because he also impressed me. Shades at Night, and we see how far he's gone these days.
Shades, the one of the very. I don't think there's been any other Aussie contestants, if I'm not mistaken.
So. I don't believe.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Isn't Milan technically? Well, he's.
Oh yeah, he's yeah, Milan. Sorry, my bad, Milan. I am so sorry.
Well, was he working there at that time?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think so. He's been here for a while. I'm not 100% sure if he's I mean, putting this in quotations, citizen at the moment, but as far as I'm concerned, he's just as Aussie as me.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, I just remember I was always kind of rooting for Shades and Eyes. I was rooting for Sid Part 2 and Season 2. And
I'm always of the mind. I was of the mind that Shades at Night. I mean, Sid Part 2 left a little bit too soon for my taste.
Yeah, definitely. And then for like 3, it was my 3 favorites made it to the final round. So, yay for me.
Was there two sort of? I was going to go challenge by challenge for you, but was there any challenge from this first season that you were like, apart from that first one, obviously, where you were like, ooh, that's going to be tough?
There was one other challenge where I went into it thinking it was going to be tough, and then there was one other that, with in light of the liberations, made me worried that it was going to be tough. The former was the third round, the review something at least 10 years older than yourself, which is funny because the judges seem to think I'd be a shoo-in for that one, and that was the first challenge that I won.
It's got to be a Manos idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea. It probably was, but it was hard for me because I had no idea what I was going to do until the very last minute. I said so many things I thought I could do. Whereas I find this challenge and the next one, the review an album one, to be complete opposites. Like I have so many older things that I like that I could have done that it was hard for me to pick one. In terms of an albums, there are very few bands that I have like really good empirical knowledge on. It was really only the Beatles, so it sort of made my decision for me. I immediately knew what album I was going to review for that one because I didn't have much of a choice.
Oh, okay.
The first season of Batman the Animated Series, Fusion took the easy way out.
As for the one I was most worried about, that ended up being the one I almost got voted off on, which was the Green Hornet review, the joint review between me and Mr. Krellian and Evil Professor, where I almost did get voted off.
Now, with that, was that like hopefully you can answer this, was that like a group decision to do the Green Hornet? Because I know you, from your retrospective, that you came to a decision to do something that none of you could have possibly seen at the time.
Yeah.
Was it a group decision to do specifically the Green Hornet, or was it like did you go back and forth on it?
I seem to recall us figuring that out pretty easily. That it was I think one of them was planning to go see it, and we both. And the rest of us realized that it was something new that we could all go easily see, had equal access to, equal knowledge of, and so it seemed like it put us on equal footing.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I really love that challenge, but I want to say this. I think that in the whole series, the whole history of the show for all 3 seasons, I think that's the most important challenge of them all.
Really?
I say that because, think about it. It's the first... This challenge promoted collaboration, I would say.
Yeah.
And it kind of prepares you for collaboration with other reviewers and things.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
like
I agree. I agree with that. I know Captain Logan said in the past that what he takes away most from this, feels is the biggest contribution the contest makes is bringing reviewers together. So I wouldn't be surprised if he agreed with that assessment.
Yeah.
And over time, as this was done, it's just been strengthened over time with each collaboration. With, like, the Geeky Gentleman, Season 2, and Season 3, you got, Superhero Enthusiasts. And there was literally a whole podcast dedicated to, like, the results of each round, which, it's built to a place I'm really impressed by. I would say, yeah, that's important. It's still just strong to this day in the show, and just has nice thing to say about just collaboration and reviewing and podcast and such, I would say.
I was going to say, I think a couple of the great things, great videos that you specifically did was the Superman ending, Superman the Ending video that you did, as well as your review of Geekvolution's Batman Begins review. That was really good. I specifically like the intro and how you shot that and everything. Now, when you did I specifically want to ask this, how did you end up doing the overhead shot? Did you have to get someone to hold the camera over you, or?
I'm actually quite proud of that, and I actually have, as I was telling you before we recorded this, I have recorded my own recollections of each individual video that I'm planning to release pretty soon. But no, I've never actually, well, except for maybe 1 or 2 cases, I've never had anybody to assist me on anything. So yeah, getting that shot was something. It was an idea that I had. I always envisioned that exact shot of the camera over me in bed, but I had no idea how I was going to do that. If I could just attach it to the lamp that was hanging over me, and but I could never figure out a way. So ultimately, I cheated. I'm not lying in bed. The camera's not over me. I'm actually leaning against a wall, and I have a pillow propped up behind my head, and so I'm leaning. I'm pinning the pillow to the wall. And if you look carefully, I'm actually holding the blanket up myself because if I let go, it would drop. And if you look at my hair, which was much longer, then you'll see that gravity is forcing it down towards my feet instead of down towards the pillow.
That's silly me. I should have realized that.
Fusion. Quick question. How did you feel? Because in that Green Hornet review, correct me if I'm wrong, but in that review, didn't Captain Logan and the judges, didn't they give you all a pass for that round?
The Green Hornet one, yes, they did, because there were only 4 judges that time. The review spot was unable to make it, and it ended up being a split decision between me and me and Mr. Krellian. Me and Mr. Krellian? Yeah, me and Mr. Krellian. And,
what was it?
Yeah.
But Evil Professor didn't have any vote. Like, when it came down to the vote off, it was a split decision between voting off me and voting off Krellian.
Well, how do you feel?
It was 2-2.
Well, how do you feel about those situations in which, it's just kind of that the tension's building, who's going to get voted off, then, boom, okay, everyone's fine, they're safe. And it's kind of, I didn't think it was going to happen at all for Season 3 towards the end, but it did. I was happy about it, but I'm just saying that it kind of comes out of nowhere. How do you feel about just overall those decisions, and do you approve of those decisions in the whole judging process, or...?
Well, I certainly can't disapprove of the one in my own situation because it kind of saved my butt. That was the closest I've ever come to being voted off in that contest. And as I said in my final contest entry, that very well could have been me if the review spot had been there. I have no idea. I could have been, I could have dropped out at that point, and I wouldn't even be here right now. I wouldn't be probably wouldn't be a judge. Maybe I might have been. I don't know. Probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you.
And worked out for Dan.
Yeah. That's why I said probably, because I remember Dan when I said that.
Dan's like the Steve Jobs of Geekvolution.
Yeah, you can only fail upwards.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think it happened to work out in season 3 as well, just because our own plans with how the elimination was supposed to go didn't end up necessarily going the way we planned. You know, we had Samuel dropping out, so we ended up...
Which is the first time that's happened, which is weird.
So I mean, actually, it was doubly weird because we actually voted him off, but he had immunity, so he stayed, but then he left. So
He stayed, but then he left.
No, Sam, I am your father. No, I gotta drop out of this. No.
Anyway, did you correct me? Did you join the judging panel in season 2, or didn't you join until season 3?
It was season 2. It was season 2.
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
You took the review spot's place, didn't you?
No, I took Browncoat Eric's spot.
Sorry.
Dan took the review spot's place.
Right.
Yeah, because I always make this brag to the rest of the judges that with the exception of Captain Logan, Vince, and the Real Manos, I'm the only other person who's appeared in every single episode of Who Reviews the Reviewers.
What about? Oh yeah, you're right. Huh.
Yeah.
So I was going to say Dan, but yeah, you're right. Wait,
so
does Dan technically count because he was also there from the beginning of Who Reviews the Reviewers?
Yeah, but he after he was voted off, he wasn't in those episodes, and he wasn't in any of season 2 either.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, but it actually took a while for you to get your part of your winnings from that, because you had to wait until the Avengers review to get to do your podcast with the panel of judges.
Well, how did that feel?
Wow, was that it? Yeah, I guess it was. I don't know.
Quite a while. It was nearly a year afterwards.
Well, no, actually, I mean, I kind of always considered the joining the judging team as counting as that as well. I don't know, but it's sort of one of those things where Captain Logan has said it's like I gave out that prize, not realizing that these are people I'd want to end up doing reviews with anyway. So so it's something I never really thought about that much, because it's not something that it's exclusive to that one video.
Yeah, but becoming a judge was must have been like, whoa. Now,
I was excited about that. Actually, I was made an alternate judge first, because they had concerns about whether or not Browncoat Eric would be able to come back, and so I was sort of put on standby in regards to whether I'd be able to do anything. And actually, I was still a standby judge when season 2 was announced and when the auditions were opened, and I was sort of still being a fill-in judge when we were doing the rankings I told you about for season 2. And so actually that was my first act as judge was giving in, making my submission for who I thought the top 8 should be. But even at that point, I still wasn't officially on the judging panel. I was still an alternate.
Oh, by the way, Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first thing you bought with your? Was it $300 to start with?
It was 50.
Oh, just 50. Oh, I'm thinking. Okay, yeah, right. What was the first thing you bought with your 50 smackaroonies?
Dragon Box 6.
Cool. And again, just how awesome was that Avengers podcast video? Especially
that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do.
I love that video.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm making sure I can ask you this question.
Okay. You're asking who the winner's going to be for season 4.
No, I'm going to be the winner for season 4.
I don't know. Mr. Lee and Bobby on that show is going to be tough.
Yeah, you can ask that. I mean, you can. There's not much I can say about it because I don't have much insight into it, as much as you might hope. But but yeah, you can ask.
The question is, how do you come up with the how do they come up with the challenges? Or I was wondering if you participate in that at all.
Let us into the secret world, the behind the scenes making.
Some. There's only been one challenge that I've personally come up with, and that was, I believe, the second challenge for season 2, which was the take something that has been objectively, basically the one that Captain Logan described as the guilty pleasure review, where you take something that's been objectively rated as bad, and give your own positive spin on it.
It's funny because I thought you would have come up with the one that was kind of like, which I remember watching it. I'm like, I bet you Lance came up with that because they came up with it because it sounded like very much like the end of your retrospective video where you said it had to be an album that was 30 to 35 minutes long or something, and it had to contain the color red and a monkey.
Okay, well, I guess kind of indirectly I inspired that challenge. I wasn't directly asked. I do recall them mentioning that. At least to me, that was sort of their inspiration for that, is sort of playing into that suggestion I'd made in my last entry as a contestant.
Which also inspired my winning.
That's right. It did. Yeah.
Competition. You even put that at the beginning of that video, which again was a great video. I thought you would have taken the easy way out and just reviewed the movie Australia, but you didn't. You actually delved into that as well. So,
still waiting for that Pixar retrospective, by the way, and the Disney one also.
I haven't even seen all the Pixar movies. I've never seen Up. I've never seen. Yeah, I know. Actually, I've seen a few minutes of Up. I haven't seen Cars 2.
That one, it's all right.
Yeah, I haven't heard much good about that.
It's just okay.
I didn't even like the first Cars that much, to be perfectly honest.
Well, it's my least favorite. Again, not that it's bad. It's all right.
Yeah. That seemed like an idea that they were just like, oh, let's do Cars. Oh, that would be awesome.
Well, I mean, it is kind of, at least the first one's better than the second one. It's creative, but
aren't they doing planes now or something like that, or is that Disney by itself?
That's Disney using the Cars world. It's Disney.
Okay. So obviously, when you got the second bunch of reviewers, they Coolio started this. It wasn't actually Sid Part 2 that started this. Coolio did a goodbye video.
Yeah.
It was was that something that you guys asked the reviewers, or is that something he just did on his own? Captain Logan?
Yeah, it was totally organic. It kind of reminds me of because I always compare. Actually, based my last contest video on this is the only reality show that I watch is RuPaul's Drag Race. And at the beginning of the second season, the first contestant who was voted off started the trend of writing a message in lipstick on the mirror, and ever since then everybody's done that. And so Coolio Vids came up with that on his own, and it's just completely I mean not the lipstick thing, just doing a goodbye video.
Going into this show, it's going through my mind a bit towards the beginning of it. Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
Oh yeah.
That reality show.
I've never actually seen that. But
it's like one of the very few good reality shows.
Yeah.
And this one's even better. I'm saying this is probably the best reality show ever.
Yeah, I got to say that it's better than the Australian Big Brother because that got ridiculous, and fortunately, when it's come back, it's gone back to its roots.
TBS should hire you guys.
Who reviews the reviewers on?
But Fusion, I was curious. I'm not sure if you'd have any bearing on this because I know Captain Logan announced it, so I'm just curious about this challenge-wise. Captain Logan for season 3, he said he was going to basically ask for ideas for challenges by just commenters.
Mm-hmm.
Send a personal message with an idea, and if it's good, he'll use it. He didn't use any ideas. Just curiously, why was that, or is it just?
I don't know. Until you mentioned it just now, I had totally forgotten that was actually a plan. And I've never, because in season 2 we did ask the judges if we had any ideas for challenges, but beyond that, I'd usually just come in, punch my time clock basically, and he'd say, "Oh yeah, I came up with this," or "Vince came up with this," and we just sort of go along with it. And I usually, oftentimes I wouldn't hear the challenge until the live audience did. He'd announce the challenge, and that's the first time I'd hear it.
It'd be funny if you filed paperwork.
Oh no, that's there's no real punch card. It'd be cool if there was. I'll have to get on that. I'll have to get on that. I'll have to talk to him about that.
You didn't, Romanowski, you didn't file your paperwork.
Anyway, so season 2 they were still doing the recorded format. They didn't shift to, I don't believe they shifted to the live format until the 3rd season. What do you think when that was decided that they would shift to the live format?
I think it was
live. Sorry.
I enjoy it. I mean, it's to a certain extent I kind of miss the part of the style of the old way of having the clips be an overlay while you could hear the judges talking about it, sort of having that, and of course, I think it's probably far too long. Probably takes far too much time to do now. But in overall sense, just in terms of getting an audience there, getting them involved, I really do enjoy doing the live show, and I know that me and Dan especially love to get on the chat with everybody and talk to them while we're doing the deliberations. Mm-hmm. So it's always like it's like if we have this group of people here who are talking and who want to interact, then some of us should at least should be interacting with them.
Cool. You know what?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I thought you were the animal at first.
I was gonna say it's funny because the end of season 2, the winner was someone which was Sexy Blues. Mm-hmm. I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, was someone that did everything very minimalistically. Yeah. He didn't have much in the way of doing, didn't do much in the way of editing and making very flashy videos. Still doesn't. Bravo. Because I subscribed to him after the contest was over.
Was there a bribe, Magpie?
No. What I'm saying is it's very weird that the 3rd season, someone that did huge amounts of stuff with their videos ended up winning. But it's still, to me, it goes to show that it's not so much about the flash; it's more about the substance in the reviews. Because even you, Lance, you didn't do that much with yours really. You did some good stuff, but I imagine that's still very what you come out with, especially is always very good. Like you do very good work.
Didn't you wear a dress in the final one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you enjoy wearing the dress?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not knocking. I'm just curious.
No, neither am I. I'm whatever. And you wore wings in some of the shots as well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. The dress was mine. The wings belonged to my predecessor. And I just moved into a new apartment, and the person I was replacing hadn't quite gotten all of her stuff yet. So I found these wings. And I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome to add to this. This increasingly bizarre collection of outfits I was showing up in. So.
I noticed the wings before I noticed the dress. They just look kind of cool. Like, ooh, he has wings. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, I was like, wearing a skirt? Okay.
Let's see where it goes.
If he enjoys wearing the skirt, that's fine with me.
It was for the quality of the video, and boy, did it succeed in that.
Yeah. By the way, you were the second best looking man that I've seen in a skirt.
Oh, thank you.
And Sid, no, you were not the first. You look horrible in a skirt.
Wait till a superhero enthusiast dons a skirt.
Actually, I'm wearing a skirt right now.
Oh, okay.
Coincidentally enough.
I was sensing some Marilyn Monroe in the room.
Yeah, just don't go over any air vents.
Well, Fusion's got the legs for it.
Yeah.
I got gams for days.
Mm.
Yep. He's a dame at heart.
Yes. So anyway, in this going back to the second season, I mentioned Coolio's because I wanted to segue into the what ended up becoming the Geeky Gentleman. When you saw the Sid Part 2's goodbye video, and he brought out the lightsaber, did you think, wow, what the? Did you think it would lead to them getting doing their own show and that?
I don't know if I thought it would lead to like necessarily a review show like that, but I don't know. I just remember watching with anticipation. Once it became apparent that it was the whole goodbye thing, both first with Coolio vids and then kind of the revenge goodbye thing with Sid, that I was going to keep carrying on. I kind of look forward to seeing that every time. As I've probably a point I probably run into the ground every single round of the show is that I hate voting somebody off. It's my least, especially the beginning. I was so nervous as my judge. I was pulling so many punches at the time, and I was just so scared to get anybody mad at me. Hurt the contestants' feelings, things like that. But still, almost kind of look forward to seeing how the next goodbye video is going to turn out.
So, obviously, when Milan did his, and he did the goodbye, and then Sid Part 2 showed up, were you like Zazubar, who was sucked in to thinking that, did you realize it was an effect at first, or did you think, do those two live close to each other?
Oh, is that the one where he walked in through the doorway?
Yeah.
I was able to tell the effect on that. I guess I have an eye for those things anyway, and I'm always trying to figure out, because Sid Part 2 always impresses me with his technical know-how, and I'm always trying to catch up with him usually, and incorporating those kinds of splits. I mean, I guess the best one I've had so far is in the video the other contest video I had to do, where I put two of me into the same frame. That's pretty much the most challenging thing I've had to do, and I actually had to reshoot that, I believe, because the lighting didn't work out and things like that. So yeah, I was able to tell it was an effect, but I was impressed that they were able to pull that off.
It'd be funny for an effect if the next season Who Reviews, the reviewers start with Captain Logan holding up a crystal, and you just see Sid Part 2 where they're saying, "Revenge, revenge, revenge."
Well, they did get their revenge on him. They ended up tying him to a chair and gagging him.
Beating him Reservoir Dog style.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you got to guest star in one of the goodbye videos.
The fireball thing, yeah. That was fun.
So yeah, obviously, did Zazubar contact you for that?
Oh, that was Sid. That was Sid Part 2.
Oh, okay, so he's late.
Yeah, it was Sid Part 2 contacted me for that, and also I did some images. The ones where he what's his name? Maxwell's Magic. Did the conspiracy videos, and I had the frame where I'm in each of the videos, that sign, that subliminal message, Sid Part 2 contacted me for that one as well.
Well, one thing, last thing. So you got to the last two, and was that really hard? Was that really hard deciding between the last two? You don't have to give your opinions or anything about that, but I'm just asking, was it a very hard decision getting to, because season 2 I think was really good, and I think season 3 was just as good. But was it harder deciding between 2, or was it harder deciding between the 3 this season?
It's hard to answer, because they were they were so very different in terms of what they were putting out. It's hard to compare them because they're so completely separate things. I've always had. They were both really, really hard. I recall. But most, to be perfectly honest, and I probably admitted this at some point, most of the challenges when I come in as a judge, with very few. There have been a few exceptions, but most of them I come in not having a clear idea of who I'm going to vote off until the very end, until I listen to other people's, the rest of the judges' deliberations and gotten to sort of reflect on my own opinions. Because it's just, unless there's a very clear-cut case of, oh my God, this one is just terrible compared to the rest of them, which is very rare. But so I usually don't. I might have an inkling of an idea, like it might be this one or it might be that one. And there have actually been a few cases where I've come in with it might be this one, only to later change it and go, no, it really should be this one. I'm convinced it should be this one now. So it's always. It's very rarely not been, the hard deliberation in my mind that's going on throughout that entire 3 hours or whatever, that I'm just sort of, in the background, my mind's just chugging away going, okay, how can I choose just one? How can I, choose just one for top and end? How can I choose just, how can I figure out who it is I'm going to, send away, that kind of thing.
Consult the dog. But yeah, let me ask you this, Sophie. Would you say that would you agree that there's a theme of this feeling of escalation and quality with each season of Who Reviews that it's building towards even better videos, and just it's even harder to choose in those final moments, those final rounds. I don't know, I was kind of hoping for a Curious Low in Season 2, because she impressed me, she was good, as well as Sid Part 2, and the Geeky Gentleman. I'm saying, at the very end, Curious Low, I was surprised that she didn't win.
I think that Season 3 is kind of almost maybe embarrassed to keep on doing videos, to be perfectly honest. The level
good,
of...
right?
Yeah, the level of quality in Season 3 is just, and we actually had, quite a bit of self-pitying soliloquies at the end of that last round of deliberations that you can go back and listen to. And Aaron Dicer had to come in and console us for a little while during our pity party.
What, a pity party?
Yeah, it was in the deliberations of us. Yeah, pretty much all of us said at the very end that we were watching these guys and thinking they were who are we to judge these people? I think Season 3 really just reinvigorated all of our passions in doing Who Reviews Reviewers, and I know in regards to myself have made me reevaluate and sort of try to step up my own game in terms of the content that I'm putting out.
It was the rises of the Who Reviews the Reviewers show so far. You left people in tears in the end. Whether they're happy over the events, or, well, if there's in the majority of people that don't like Dark Knight Rises. But either way, an emotional experience. Oh no, these guys, they've come so far, they're going to save the city, or in this case, they're going to review things. They've come such a long way. Yeah. They went from derailing a train to now facing Bane. Magical, isn't it? But still, yeah, it's really good.
I was gonna say, do you think that Captain Logan should put out a box set of the series of Who Reviews the Reviewers?
I'd buy it.
I don't know. It's funny. I always think about that because he always told me, and he might have mentioned that in the deliberations back then, that if he were to make, were to release a box set, he'd put the my last contest entry, my review of the contest as a special feature, because he said he told me at one point that he was trying to explain the contest to his mother, and ultimately he just showed her my video, and that explained everything for her to her satisfaction.
Can you do commentaries on each episode?
Mm-hmm.
We're reviewing the reviewers, reviewing things.
Well,
reviewing reviews.
like I said, I'm kind of I actually have recorded commentary for my own entries. I think it would be kind of disingenuous of me to do commentaries for everybody else's videos, but I've done commentary for my own videos, and I'm planning to put those out really soon.
Well, I mean, you'd be joining in on all the rest, doing commentaries in like one video. That's what I mean. Like you'd be on part of the reviewing panel, reviewing your own reviews of reviews and stuff.
But I don't know. In terms of actually putting on a box set, I
anyone else feel like a fried egg right now?
I can only imagine the logistical nightmares of having to get clearance for all of the items, all the properties that were reviewed on that. I don't think there's any way that could actually see the light of day unless Captain Logan Geekvolution became like a very large publishing reviewing conglomerate with a lot of sway.
As far as I'm concerned, it is that already. But in the best possible way.
Yeah, unless anyone
I hope they don't blur out the
it.
images if they do put it out on DVD. That'd be lame.
Yeah, that would be lame. I was going to say, unless someone requests it all in part of their Geeks United package.
I don't know. I mean, actually, who knows? I mean, I'm not, that familiar with the law myself. I mean, that seems like it might even be stickier. Charging people to buy things, to pay for other people's, stuff that includes other people's, copyrighted material.
Well, I mean, that one falls under something different in that it's this legal term. It's like it's quote unquote a donation. So you can say you're donating to this cause, and then they're sending you a gift, which is basically, as long as put a disclaimer at the beginning, say, okay, this is a non-profit and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, season 3 was a very good season. But I personally like and it came down to the 3 very good people. Superhero enthusiasts,
Rockman
Aaron
LP.
Dicer and Rockman LP, there was the drama with Sam leaving. So obviously, him getting voted off, although being safe, ended up being safe. Were you disappointed that he left so abruptly? But at least he gave a reason for it. But do you at all think that he could have won with this? Because he puts out some good videos. Because admittedly, I had some problems with him going in. I even did a couple of videos that I was like attacking him, but I've since put out an apology video saying I'm sorry and I was out of line and everything.
I don't know, like I think season 3 was unique, and that even from the very beginning, because there are certain, a lot of contests, you sort of, at least in the first couple of weeks, you sort of have, you might have, certain videos that don't really necessarily come up to snuff, and you sort of, and you sort of see, the sort of seeds being sown of the people who might end up going far. Like, you can sort of pick out, like, oh, this person's going to go far, this person's going to go far. Stuff like that. Season 3, and I'm pretty sure all of us agreed with this, is that was like the one season where even from the beginning, you sort of see almost every single one of them, going far. And so it was exciting, and like I said, it sort of renewed our passion for doing Who Reviews the Reviewers. But at the same time, it was kind of terrifying. It's like, I know that a lot of us, if not all of us, were like, how is this even going to continue on? How are we going to ever agree on who's going to get voted off? Because they're all at this superb level of quality. It's sort of like you almost have to find things to nitpick, just because you have to vote somebody off. So I think Samuel I thought was really awesome talent, And it's actually it sort of worked as it worked and it didn't work because on one side of it, we had this cool little this kind of game show gimmick of the immunity and giving somebody a second chance and that kind of thing, and it's kind of was interesting that we had this very unique situation where we were voting off a team, but it was possible that one of those team members could be safe, and they didn't know about that, and ended up working out exactly that way. But at the same time, it was kind of convenient because technically he could have or should have been voted off in that challenge because he technically was. So it wasn't as if it really messed up the flow of the contest. I mean, it was sad that we had to lose him, and as I said, I think he could have gone. I think he could have gone farther. But at the same time, it's like, well, I guess without the immunity, he would have been voted off. So it really didn't throw as big a monkey wrench into the plans as it could have. But it did mess things up, but it didn't mess things up. So I guess it all worked out as it was supposed to.
You know what you should have next season? Physical challenges. We're a Google card.
What, like Double Dare?
Yeah, like Double Dare. Say if you're going game show, go big.
One of the things that I find kind of disappointing is that you never know, but you kind of do. There seems to be that one challenge every year that someone, the contestants have to review something of the judges. It seems to be something that happens once you get down to about 5 people.
Yeah.
Do you think there should be more themes like that throughout the series? Do you think there should be this time we're doing something to do with music. This time we're doing something to do with movies. This time we're doing some sort of I liked the trilogy challenge, by the way. Where that would be, I think that's a great idea. Some sort of trilogy that people have to review. But I think there should be. Do you think it should be like, well, what are they going to do next, or is the thing that should?
Well, again, it's something that's not necessarily in my hands, but my personal opinion is that you need to keep a balance when it comes to things like that. I think you do want to try to have a kind of familiar stable of things, because those are the kinds of things that resonate with people. If you have like a really certain challenge that everybody's looking forward to and knows is going to happen, but at the same time you don't want to go overboard with that to a point where every challenge, or even the majority of challenges, or even a large percentage of challenges are predictable, because then you lose something fresh about it. You lose the ability to surprise people, and you sort of get locked. You lose your creativity as. The judges lose their creativity because they want to come up with new ways to challenge people. It's always just ends up being the same. Oh, we're down to 4 people. Let's do the 4 people challenge. We have the 3 people challenge and the 2 people challenge. I don't think it should be that. I think there should be like maybe 1 or 2 at most. Regular challenges, just to have sort of a trademark of who reviews the reviewers, if you will. But for the most part, to have something new and fresh, just so it doesn't get stale.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of when you get down to 5 people that you they have to review something of the judges, and that's really cool. Like you guys had to review a review.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really remember what it was.
Well, you reviewed Roger Ebert at the end. Well, they reviewed Roger.
Yeah. That was kind of cool. Not that I'm terribly familiar with him because I'm Australian, but I have seen some of his stuff throughout that challenge, and it's like, it's okay.
I knew of him. Things like, in the status streak, I licensed the guy, and attributing a tweet from Roger Ebert, framed it. Yeah. Overall, not a bad guy, and I knew the Phantasm story.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, but by that time, no offense to the guy, no offense to everyone that loves him, I was just sick and tired of seeing stuff about Roger Ebert at the time. But he was a good guy, and I'm disappointed that he's gone. But it's just at the time I was kind of sick of seeing stuff with him. But I'm glad that I got somewhat familiar with him when we got to that season, because
that brings...
He clearly did have an influence. He did have an influence on the world of reviewing, and so it kind of made sense that he was part of it. And I know Cap was really seemed really upset that he passed away. I mean,
hey, that brings up a very interesting question, Magpie. Fusion. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Before the event that occurred with Mr. Rebirth, what was the final challenge going to be? If that didn't occur, what would the final challenge have been, or was it going to be?
Again, no idea.
Oh.
Because I
punching in time clock. Sorry.
Yeah, I usually heard the challenges same time everybody else did. Although I seem to recall, I might be confusing this with an earlier part of the season. I know there was one point where we did have to replace a challenge with something else, but I think that was more because it was like it was something that had to do with the number of contestants left. So I think that might have been leading into the team challenge or something like that, where we had to switch things out or switch things around because we had a different number than we were planning on it, or something like that.
Okay.
Now a really dumb question, Fusion.
Okay.
Was the superhero enthusiast voted off because he doesn't like Back to the Future? I'm sorry, I had to bring it up.
Oh God, I'd forgotten about that. I mean, it's probably not in your best interest to tell me that. Yeah, as the deliberations are going on, I'm just saying. But
well, you didn't vote him off. From what I recall, you didn't vote him off.
Oh,
yeah,
so, I mean, I don't want to look bad here, Manos. Can you just kind of favor?
No, I am contractually obligated to reply that contestants' tastes have no bearing on my judgment.
Contractually. You know what would be awesome for season 4? It's the build up for who reviews the reviewer season 4. You guys did an Avengers. If you guys did an Avengers style, either clip show or a trailer. They're coming back. This wait, what would it be? This fall or?
Cap's not planning on doing it until he said he's not doing it until at least January. I'm hoping that's I'm hoping that's not when I'm hoping that's not when the entries are going in. I'm hoping that's when he announces who's going in. I think
that's the case.
You thought?
Okay, so yeah, it's just because I do have an entry planned. I've got a couple of things that I might do for the 2-minute thing. So, yeah, I want to be able to film that. I don't want to have. Christmas is done. Now I got to film it.
I have to say that I think this was you, Blue Dragon 5, who in the last deliberations who was assigning us characters from different franchises. I really enjoyed getting involved with that.
Yeah, I started that on Duke Lips. I love the comic news show, and especially the live shows are real fun now. It wasn't a comic news episode. It was like just Duke Lips doing a literally random. It was in all the titles, Random Rising, Random Returns, all that stuff. The first 3 videos of that, basically towards the end, I just thought it'd be funny. He always does these running gags, like him being Bill. So just doing like a Bill Cosby impression. I just thought, well, it'd be fun just to cast him as wacky stuff. I started that, and it just caught on. Other people were doing it, and that video, it was like lightning in a bottle, which I try to recapture. Sometimes it fails. But you say, who comes up with this? So I don't know. It's fun to bring it back once in a while.
I remember you had me cast some people in some of those questions I was answering throughout this month. I have cast you as
Thor a few times, Fusion.
Funny, I always cast myself as Thor if I'm the Avengers because I'm always chasing after Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my kryptonite.
Yeah, silly because I thought your dog in the live show at first was a stuffed animal. It didn't look like a real dog. I mean, at first, like, the eyes were away from the camera. I thought it was like, oh, it's a little plush dude. Look at that. Like, what the? It's alive!
It's alive!
It's alive!
So obviously, will you be returning for season 4, or are you going to be, or is Browncoat Eric returning, or a review spot returning? Do you know yet?
Is there a new reviewer joining you?
As far as I know, the lineup's going to be the same for next year, but I mean, who knows what can happen in the next several months. I certainly intend to be coming back as long as I'm invited.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm not planning on going yet.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. I just forgive me for jumping the gun, folks. Just wanted to. I'm sorry, Magpie. Go ahead. I'll bring it up later.
You put out an advice video for those entering the second season. Yeah. Do you think that should be something that all the winners should do? Is to put in some do an advice video going forward?
I mean, if they have something to say. I mean, in this case, I still wasn't a judge at that point. Captain Logan asked me to say a few words, and so I made that video and sent it to him, and he took care of that. So yeah, I mean, if it's always good to have as many different perspectives. I mean, it's always. My disclaimer to people taking advice is that it's nothing in this is really empirical. You can't really it's just like people, good reviewers have a certain amount of objectivity and certain amount of standard criteria they can put on something, but when it comes down to it, it's how you feel about something. It's how you feel about something. So you can never really just say this is how I want Who Reviews Reviewers, and if you do the same thing, you're gonna win too.
Fireside chats with Fusion.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, S Sexy Blues one doing very little with his videos. He did basically slideshows and.
Did he ever do a video of Captain Logan?
I'm not sure.
He got the Defender treatment from Who Wants to Be a Superhero. That guy won and he got nothing.
I think he got the money.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we could always use some money.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that I get the money. If the Australian dollar keeps going the way it is, I'm wondering if I'm still going to get the
Joe Magpie the money.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to keep going with the live format next season, and barring any fatal flaws in that formula.
As far as I know, that's the new that's the way we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Do you despite the fact that a lot of you guys were like, how are we going to keep going with the show? Do you feel that perhaps you should even though it seems like the 500 subscriber thing is a good thing, do you think that should be lowered? Or do you think that's a good number to go with? Or do you think... Because it seems to me, especially this season, even though Superhero Enthusiasts got quite a few views, do you think there should be some sort of limitation on... do you think that should be lowered to 400? Or do you... Because I get the feeling that, especially with Sam, he seemed to have quite a lot of skills in video editing and stuff, and his this is not me going after him at all. I want to say that it seemed like he was definitely going on the rise throughout, and my one thing was that he had hit 500 subscribers before the announcement video was made, or because it seemed to me that he was definitely going to be a star on the rise without the contest. Do you? The reason I'm asking this is do you guys check the subscriber count beforehand, or because it seemed like It seemed like he was definitely going to hit 500 subscribers before the thing was before the contest.
To answer that question, the way I understand it is, as long as you have your, because your subscriber count is something that's probably going to change every day, and so I assume we, grant them a little bit of leeway with that. Strictly speaking, I'm sure, somebody, if they wanted to, if they, just got over 500, they could tell a couple, they could, make an announcement saying, please, unsubscribe to me for a couple of days. It's one of those things it's hard to have an exact science towards. So I think, somebody, if somebody was below 500, when they auditioned, and then getting crossed 500, by the time the contest started, I think that's something we give them a pass on, because it's, there's really nothing magical that happens at 500 that separates you from somebody who has 450. There's really no difference. Honestly, if anything, I would say, I think 500 is a fair number personally, but I'd say if anything, it would make the cap a little bit higher, to be perfectly honest. Because I know that Captain Logan has said to me, in retrospect, he's like, I can't believe that I started this contest with only 1,000 subscribers. I feel so completely inadequate based on where I am now. It's like who was I to start a contest with only 1,000 subscribers and cast my judgment down. It is kind of a matter of perspective, I suppose. Or it's I remember when I reached 100 subscribers when I first when I auditioned for Who Reviews Reviewers, 100 subscribers felt like this amazingly massive accomplishment, and now it feels like, oh gosh, 100. What's up with it? So it's really all just a matter of perspective, I think. It's where you are and where that what it feels like. Every milestone is a good milestone, and every level of excitement is cool thing to have done. So I don't know.
Well, it's funny because even though it says 72, I think on my subscriber count now, I've technically only have 66 subscribers. So
how does that work? What do you mean?
For some reason in my on my channel page it says I got 72. I go to the analysis, it says I've got 66.
I think I got 44.
Yeah, I believe you do. So it's just from my perspective, 500 seems like miles away, and it's just to me, I'd rather see a contest where it legitimately seems like Cap is looking for someone who's probably not got that many. Like there was a time when Superhero Enthusiast didn't have nowhere near as many subscribers as I did, but now he's eclipsed me. He's like on 80, so it's
Well, I think personally, Superhero Enthusiast is a great example of showing that the method is sound. That it's not like, because if I'm assuming right, I'm thinking you're saying that somebody who has who's closer to the like really close to 500 has something of an advantage over somebody who's just starting out. But But Superhero Enthusiast, he started by doing Who Reviews. He wasn't established at all. He hadn't done anything before Who Reviews the Reviewers. He hadn't even edited before Who Reviews the Reviewers.
I saw
this guy is an amazing talent who started with nothing and almost won the entire contest.
Yeah. I know. It's like
I just remember. Sorry, I just remember seeing him on the live shows, and I would look at the guy's channel. Super Enthusiast somehow just connected to DC animation for some strange reason. I was right, but still, it was a strange reason. Looked up, there was no videos, and okay, we'll see where this guy goes. I'll keep tabs on him. And he does Who Reviews the Reviewers. He's like, well, let's see how this guy does. And then, wow, look how far he came, and now he's doing podcasts. Heck, I got a show going with him now.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical about it, subscribers to a certain extent is kind of, that is part of the reason why if I were to advocate it moving in any direction would be up, is because anybody who starts a channel and just posts clips of a television show, doesn't put any actual effort into that, just rips their favorite television show and puts clips up for people to see, is going to get subscribers in no time. And get 5K, and they're not a reviewer. They're not going to have necessarily have any talent or skill or drive to create their own content.
I see your point, but I really would like to say, like, I just see that. I think 500 is a good number, to be honest, because that way it seems to me that you're actually looking for stars. Someone, and yeah, if you want to go up to 1,000, that's fine. That would be fine too. But,
I'm certainly fine with 500. Although I mean, like with most things in this contest, because we aren't network television or have any kind of contracts. People people are free to come and go as they want. We don't have any any way of forcing them to do what we want them to do. I mean, you could technically. I mean, I'm sure it might slip by us where we might be able to find something. I'm sure somebody could. Somebody could be established and be well over 500 subscribers, and then just start a new channel and start from there, and we might not even catch that. So who knows?
I'd like to have 45, maybe 50. Would be nice.
Put more videos up, man. You last time I checked, you only had like 4. Bet you're about to join an illustrious guild of people, aren't you, Blue Dragon 5?
Yeah, the Confidential Fan Guild.
Yeah, that's going to be our show, Lance, me, Blue Dragon 5, and Mr. E.
You're welcome on any time, by the way, Fusion.
Oh,
yeah, the only people that aren't welcome is those scoundrels from Geeky Gentlemen.
Well, they're not scoundrels. Come on.
Well, there aren't enough scoundrels
for having
in your
a
life.
revenge squad. Sorry, what?
I say, there aren't enough scoundrels in your life.
That's true. Well, hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, any advice for people who are putting together just thinking about putting together an entry video?
I don't know. I still feel that I have the same advice that I gave 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago at this point. Which is to my most general advice would work for anybody is don't. Certainly play the game, but make the kind of video that you're gonna be proud to have on your channel. Don't and just make the best video you can, regardless of whether or not it's going to be in a contest. Don't necessarily pander. Again, play the game, have fun doing it. But I think that was part of the reason why I challenged myself to get as far as I could without mentioning that it was in a contest. Was just I want this to be the best video for my channel as well. So it was more it's like I'm going to make a good video with these guidelines rather than I'm going to make it's basically just a mindset going into it. I'm going to make this contest video. I'm going to make this video, this awesome, great, wonderful video for my channel that happens to have these stipulations enforced onto them. So basically just challenge yourself like that.
I want to give a piece of advice because I've tried to enter this contest twice. And it's funny because the first entry that I did, I was reviewing Vegemite. And the first challenge that season was food. Great minds think alike, I guess. So, my advice is do not try and do anything too big for your entry video. Just find something nice and small that you can put together. Don't try and review a huge book. I tried to do a wrestling match. That didn't work. I was too busy with got knocked up with synopsis and just came out looking horrible.
I'll say this then. If you are sort of neophyte at doing the review thing, which most people would be because this is for newer type reviewers, figure out what your strengths and more importantly what your weaknesses are, and then play to those strengths. Like if you. Because we've had so many different. So it's not just if you do this you'll win, because we've had so many different styles of people go far. So, but it's like if you can't organize your thoughts on camera live, then put your effort into a script. If you don't have if you realize you don't have a very charismatic on-screen persona, then stay off camera. If you feel that your writing is lacking, you have a more spontaneous appearance, then hop on the camera and let your personality shine through. So it's really just take an evaluation of yourself, figure out who you are and what you can do and what you can't do, and then tailor your efforts into something that'll make you look as good as possible.
Yeah.
Fusion. Let me ask you this. I'm just curious about this. I noticed, like, in the final round in Rockman LP's videos, like, I think like half an hour. Now, for other challenges, like, what if you guys do another Green Hornet video? I mean, you guys just gonna let that play all the way through? I mean, are you gonna... Let's say you do a challenge like an hour or so. You're not gonna let that play through the whole live pros, then talk about it. Are you gonna talk through it as it happens in that case?
I would personally hope so, but again, that's not my thing. Yeah, Captain Logan, he's the one who plays the videos on the live show, so I sit and watch.
Do you know, it'd be a funny opening challenge?
What?
Do an hour review on ice cream.
That was a question he asked me. So
I think us judges would have to be extremely masochistic to invite people to invite an 8-hour viewing session on our part.
Yeah. Well, so that's why I'm asking. Like, if you guys could minimize that time a little, just talk about the. Saying in that case, watch it, but still, I mean, it's a really interesting challenge to see what they would do.
Yeah, you asked me that. I can't remember what. I'm looking through the questions now that you asked me.
I did.
Yeah, do you remember what number it was?
It was in the first week, I believe.
Oh, it was in the first week?
I think it was. Do you have the first or second week?
Well,
yeah. Either way.
He asked me that question, and yeah.
Because you mentioned you wanted to be able to show. I was just thinking, well, it'd be kind of an interesting first challenge, see how they think their way through that challenge. You're making it interesting for an hour, talking about just ice cream. That's all you're giving, ice cream. Nothing else, just reviewing ice cream.
Yeah, I asked that, and I said to him, okay, I wouldn't just review one flavored ice cream. I would review them all. Exactly. Because I would. That was for the thing. I'm not sure which number it was. I can't find it right now, and I don't want to be scanning through the whole thing throughout it. But yeah, that was.
I feel like it's day 6 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I couldn't see it. Yeah, but I want to plug that.
Like you, Fusion, I would assume that you would do a retrospective on it. Maybe into the process of making it, but not too much. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I have to think about that. I was thinking about that. I think my main concern would be figuring out a way to make such a subject interesting. Figuring out some sort of way to frame it in a way that would sort of keep an audience's attention. So find some sort of theme to go with it. Some sort of framing device or something.
Like, ice cream is such a happy dessert. Why? It's just, I guess I came up with it because, like the opening challenge of Who Reviews a Review, reviewing an inanimate object. We'll review a food, a happy dessert, if you will. Ice cream, just give them that only, like, no other specifications.
I just... if we can get like another 30 minutes, we will. Where we, if you don't mind staying, Lance, me and Blue Dragon 5 will probably just pitch to you to take to Captain Logan a couple of ideas we wouldn't mind seeing in the next season of this. If you don't mind sticking around.
I'd certainly be happy to listen. I don't know what I can necessarily do with them, but
if you want to pass them along, if you think they're great ideas, don't bother telling us that. Just if you say, that would be I don't know if that would work, that's fine as well.
Or just give some adulation. That always works. I love it. Something like that.
I like the idea of not. Of reviewing a season of a TV show, or even just a few episodes, like an arc or something. So I think that would be a great challenge for someone to do, because that way you could get a variety of things out of people.
That's actually a great challenge I'm trying to accomplish at this exact moment.
I remember one of my... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I always find myself wanting to do stuff like that, but then hating myself for choosing to do stuff like that because it's just so much work having to get all the footage and things like that. It's just it takes forever for me to... like I did my Deep Space Nine bottom 10 review. That was just...
Oh, yeah, that's
so
a great video, by the way.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad I did it, but it was so much work.
Yeah, I even agree with you on that point you make about the final episode. Like, really? He wouldn't even remember... Worf wouldn't even remember that. And as I'm sure it was great sleeping with Ezri Dax. I think he would remember Jadzia, his wedding to Jadzia even more.
What would you think of the idea of reviewing all the reviewers reviewing the same work, like film and or series? Yes.
It
hasn't really happened much before, except for Roger Ebert.
No, I don't know. I mean, we've always, because our joint challenge is obviously the same thing. Our last challenge was the same thing. We all chose the same thing to review, which in our case ended up being the contest itself. So yeah, we've done that before.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You know what my idea would be for one? I believe I submitted this one as an idea for 3, but what if you guys if the challenge was to review a work, but from a review of film work through a different character's perspective throughout the whole film. Like, instead of your main character, you go through like a side character as the main character. You can see how they would experience the film and review it from that perspective.
Oh, I like that. I mean, I think it would require some creative finagling to make sure that it stays in the territory of review rather than just an alternate retelling. But I mean, but of course that's part of the challenge too. I'd assume.
Yeah, like raise questions of, okay, does this still make the story valid the way it's being told through this character's perspective? Like, do the same points come across in comparison, but then go into like this original new thing? Any new ideas come from this telling? Maybe idea. Also, like, kind of devolved into saying, well, maybe review just the Joker blogs, each of you. Season 1 of Joker blogs. Watch the entire series of something online, a fan film, and your thoughts on it.
Well, fan films is a good thing. I recently watched the Casey Jones fan film, and that is awesome. I don't agree with everything about it, but I think they did. I think they did a good job for the money they had.
Trying to get a Superman fan film celebration review miniseries out of the way, but that's taking some time.
Yeah, I know the feeling, man, and I know the feeling. I'd like to see something to do with Doctor Who because it's going to be its 50th anniversary this year, and I've just recently got into that this year, and I've watched a ton of Doctor Who.
I really hope Captain Logan does something to commemorate the 75th for Superman this year. Also, it's been 74 years old. So, yeah, a little fun fact.
I don't know. I'm not sure if Captain Logan would like to have such a specific challenge. I mean, Doctor Who's great, but not everybody is into Doctor Who or has access to Doctor Who. So, Captain Logan's main caveat when trying to come up with challenges is to make sure that it's something that people don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money on. So it's vague. It's open enough that they can hopefully have something at their disposal that will fit the challenge already.
Well, I'd still like to see him do something to this celebration, which is in November. So.
I
don't doubt that on his, as one of his own videos, I'm sure Captain Logan will probably do something Superman really. I wouldn't be surprised, one bit if he did something like that on his own. I'm just saying I wouldn't necessarily think that he would do something so specific for the contest.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, don't be surprised if there's an opportunity and I'm on the show, Lance, that I do something Doctor Who related.
Oh, yeah, bring it on.
Are you guys going to do that for the next season? Kind of focus on, like, let the reviewers kind of craft the challenge? I mean, not the review. I mean the contestant reviewees. It's really just they've been given. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's great that they're given these challenges to fill. Like, give them like inkling of. I don't know, like let them take something from what they like and just kind of run with it. Maybe run through with some specific like.
I
think everyone's gotten a chance to do something. I mean,
I think the challenges are open-ended enough because we never, like I said, we never specify a certain type of a genre or a certain franchise they have to do. So I mean, they're open to enough interpretation. I think if they wanted to do something they really enjoy, that they have ample opportunity to do so. Actually, honestly, this is something I noticed when I was a contestant, and it's actually kind of funny, is that when we finished the album challenge, I came to the realization that aside from the one challenge, we'd been specifically requested to do something we didn't like. Everybody had done positive reviews. I came to that realization, and I said to myself, whatever the next challenge is going to be, I'm going to make sure I do something negative. And then they announced they wanted us to review one of their videos, so that kind of went out the window.
Well,
how do you not
you didn't know you could there's stuff you could have knocked.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly made sure I didn't pull any punches, but it kind of made me take a pause to specifically pick something that I was going to bash to hell and back.
This Treksford lied to me with its corn. Oh, something. But yeah, also, I kind of I say like the fan films like Joker blogs and such. It is kind of something free everyone has access to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's an idea that it's.
Unless there's something, I think, as long as it's up on YouTube somewhere, and they can, and people got access to it, that's all right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Oh yeah, just kind of covering the what we have now thanks to this show. Because of Who Reviews Reviewers, I mean, we get the Geeky Gentleman, which kind of branched off into so much these collaborations and these team-ups. Like, I'm assuming like Enthusiasts might team up with Rockman at some point. I'm assuming that because they had such good chemistry together.
Mm.
I can't nothing valid point that out. I'm just saying like all the things have come from the Who Reviews Reviewers contest. The addition of Dan to the Geekvolution channel, Shades at Night's really coming to his own. The inspiration, the impact this show's had. And Fusion, you've added a lot to this also. I mean, yeah, you brought the quality that yes, we can do this. You can review things. It's great. Look, there's always potential. Even if you don't win with someone, you see how far people have come. And the Geeky Gentleman show, just caught me by surprise how good it was. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be bad or anything. I was just saying, oh man, this is really awesome. Remember their first episode, Rise? It's still my favorite to this day. And it's like, oh, it's kind of like that Green Hornet thing, them collaborating on a challenge, on an idea. I mean, on the same work all together. And they have like their own report going, like the Marx Brothers over there. Only instead of Harpo, you have a crazy Russian. You get that. And then, that's how Magpie and I kind of met, and then I even came up with a whole Geekvolution franchise pitch, which took the Who Reviews the Reviewer stars, the judges of Who Reviews Reviewers, and put them in an action movie role, basically.
Yeah,
hey, you were part of that.
That's a great pitch, and we even cast me as a villain in that.
Well, for a spin-off.
Yeah, no, you cast me as a villain first. I fail miserably.
Yes.
Oh
yeah, Fusion, you have to watch that Geekvolution franchise pitch video.
Because we even managed to include you in the pitch.
Yeah, of course. How could we not?
I mean, it's like there is quite a number of films that we put in there, but
oh yeah, remember the comedy one? Yeah, and the comedy one that's like after the main story. It's kind of the fun epilogue with Doomsmints, and they all go to like a villain's bar. It's basically in the second movie, it's kind of like the Dark Knight and the Superman 2 of the well, it's more than just a trilogy. At this, it gets spun off into these wild and wacky ideas, Fusion, but awesome ideas at the same time. It's like the second movie is the Who Reviews the Reviewers Revenge Squad. Sid Part 2 is like General Zod, like classic General Zod. And ends with like, "You will bow down before me, Captain Logan. You and one day, Jason." And like the first one, it's all started with this one premise. the premise, I came up with this premise. I'm proud of it. This Comic News, again, I love the Comic News. Is a great show. Comic News, they make fun of Frank Miller and say that they point out that Frank Miller made all his bad decisions, and in the pictures, since he's made these like stupid decisions and like crazy man decisions, he's been wearing this black fedora. And they deemed it Frank Miller's evil hat. To the point where Manos even did a video, which cracked me up when he was reviewing the animated Year One film. He wore Frank Miller's evil hat and was talking like Frank Miller. So that gave me the idea, when you have Doomsvince on the Geekvolution channel, wait a minute, what if Doomsvince found Frank Miller's evil hat and became a competent supervillain? And maybe he looked a little bit like the same costume. I was just like, give him some black, like tape, like packing peanut styrofoam on the knuckles and maybe the suit jacket, and give him the Frank Miller's evil hat. He looks like Doomsvince,
Yeah.
and it's an Avengers team up to take him down, and the hat goes off into the wind. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, serious. If you got the time, listen to that. It's a crazy video.
I actually recently came up with an idea that I'm wondering if you're ever going to get a pitch video for this, or if this would actually be it. But it's an idea for like an actual genuine Who Reviews the Reviewer's film, but not play for. I mean, a genuine film. I think something actually good to come from that in the big screen.
I even pitched. You got me to cast people in that film. I forget who I cast as you, Lance. I forget who I did. But that's. I remember.
Let's go with my default casting, Ryan Reynolds.
No, it wasn't Ryan Reynolds, because I don't know how old you are. No, I didn't cast Natalie Portman.
How dare you, sir?
No, she'll be in in a movie with me, and for no apparent reason, she'll have to kiss me for like 3 hours.
Is Pee Wee Herman going to attend that film?
No. But anyway,
Andrew Garfield as Fusion.
Yeah, that would work. But yeah, I forget who I cast.
Anyway, well, I know
because
I
filmed
superhero enthusiast. I did want that.
I forget I forget when I did do that video, because I think it's is it even up yet?
Yeah, it's up. It was up. It was, I forget when. I think that one was in the segment. So the first question I mentioned was the ice cream ones in the day 21.
Yeah, that's day 21.
Yeah, but just for I genuinely think this could work as a movie, because think about it. It's just it could be kind of that Social Network-ish premise. Kind of that these guys review things, just showing how individual guys have been influenced by movies and whatever they like. Just kind of, they're so passionate about that craft that they would, they go online and they do videos about it. Just kind of them, I guess Captain Logan would be the main character because he got the thing together. He'd be his journey saying, okay, well, what if I came up with this idea? And he, like in real life, you'd realize by the end of it, oh my God, look how big, that would be the end point of the film, saying, look how big it got. Look how big this little idea I had. Yeah, I'm so proud. That'd be kind of like the music's building. You see, like, dun, 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 dun. I see like all these monitors and everyone getting ready to review things, saying, huh. Yeah, he's just like Captain Louis nodding. Yeah, I made this happen.
I did. It's day 7 for that. I did do some research for that. I did try and find at least competent actors to play those roles, and I even said it would probably only work as an independent film.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a big budget.
Fusion.
Yes.
What would you think of that idea, Fusion?
Who reviews the reviewers, maybe?
Honestly, I'd rather be in it myself. I'm the one trying to get my struggling.
I didn't know you were an inspiring actor when I shot that, because that was in the. I didn't know that, but until you told me that you're an aspiring actor, I had no idea.
Yeah, my degree is actually in theater, so I'm trying to get that going anywhere.
Do you think there's a possibility that you and Shades would be in the same movie at some point, if it weren't for a Who Reviews the Reviewers movie?
I would take pretty much anything at this point. I just need a job.
Yeah. So your response to that it would be
Yeah. So
yeah. Okay. I'd.
So Fusion, what would you do for Who Reviews the Reviewers live action movie?
I don't know.
You'd probably.
I don't know. I guess I would think of it as some have to do it in sort of vein of I don't know, because the whole idea of doing a group of young adult nerdy males is kind of catching on as a television and movie type of thing. You have your Big Bang Theory and all the kinds of things that are on Netflix right now. So I guess we kind of work in that vein. I don't know necessarily if it work in the kind of social network kind of thing, because Facebook is kind of, I mean, that's a really big thing, and that everybody uses. I don't think Who Reviews the Reviewers has made that much of a dent in popular culture, I'm afraid.
Maybe social network's bad. I guess I'm kind of going for that Ed Wood vibe. Just kind of these guys are passionate about their crafts. They're coming together and just like.
Oh no, I'm not saying yeah, that's a bad idea. I'm just saying that it's hard for me to reconcile myself as being on that same kind of level as somebody who's actually done something that's completely changed the way we interact with other people.
you guys are coming to your own. You guys are having a lot of influence. All the Geekvolution. Well, I wish there was a better term for this. Like the Geekvolution followers, I suppose. The guys in the live shows, us. Everyone. The guys who've been introduced to the Geekvolution, and by that introduced to the Who Reviews the Reviewers show and all those other reviews. It's a whole interconnected web. All those guys, and they're starting to team up, and because of this Who Reviews the Reviewers, it just inspired collaboration and this coexistence, especially in the live format. As everyone's like talking to each other, saying, "Oh yeah, this is great. What if this happened? What if this happens?" Like, "Oh, that's a good idea." That sort of stuff. You guys have inspired a lot.
Mm.
I think it's genuinely worth that kind of. I think it's almost a little better than that social network kind of thing. I mean, it is kind of the social network kind of thing in a way, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. I think I don't think it's a huge possibility that we'd get. Like I said, it would be an independent film and probably be a Geekvolution produced film, but the actors I picked for that were were the possibility that they're actors that could have been possibly gotten on an independent film budget. Yeah, and a lot of them were child actors, but I was very careful to be who I cast in certain roles.
And Mano should be the comic relief.
Yeah, if anyone's at all interested, check out Day 7 of Blue Dragon 5 month, and it's there in my playlist. Day 7.
But also check out this video. I mean, we're talking about Who Reviews the Reviewer movie ideas here. It's cool. Maybe do a whole video on that someday. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. But I think we've pretty much exhausted this. Unless there's anything else you want to ask Blue Dragon before we go.
And let me think. Is there anything else? Well, look how long. Look how much the show's progressed. I mean, from each challenge, it's like all these great contestants. The whole Mr. Corellian, Dan, and Coolio. Oh, Coolio's great. And season 2, Sid Bartu and the Geeky Gentleman Gang, and Curious Slow. It's a shame. What's really happened to Curious Slow?
She's still not making videos, but she's definitely still on YouTube. I gather she's just given up making videos for the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe she's getting married, and maybe she's got a kid on the way. For all I know, I'm not saying that's true, but for all I know, it could be what's happened.
I'd say season 3 is probably the most impressive. I mean, as good as the other ones were. Each season's great. 3 was like the most heated in the end. Like you just saw through the course of that season just how much the quality. Like these guys went how far they came. Just started. Like, Enthusiasts had this good comic rapport with his videos, and then Aaron Dicer. I knew Aaron Dicer's style going into it was kind of. I came into the season 3 because I knew Aaron Dicer because he did a video with Captain Logan on Pixar, so that caught my attention. I saw that. I said, okay, I like this guy, and he's probably going to win it. He's worked Captain Logan previously, so that's what I was thinking going into it. Then I saw, the enthusiast. I remember him from the comments. I said, let's see how he does. He entertained me, and Rockman LP also did some good stuff, like with the THX 1138. That one's when I started to take notice of Rockman. And just then they did a podcast together, and just by the end of it, they each stepped up the game. Even when we thought, okay, so this team's going to be broken up, you all get a pass it around. Oh, jaw drops. Tension's building. They step up the game even further than that. The big thing, like, Dicer's got a whole set behind him. It's the enthusiast has stepped up. Like comedy, it's like perfect comedic timing as well as it's enthusiast's greatest strength was his great comedy, but also information. It's informative and very entertaining throughout. And Rockman is great content all around, especially with the writing and it's a creative framing device. All the different Rockmans, and my favorite being the Detective Rockman, Roxy, as I believe his name is. I love that. Was my favorite video. The whole. What was your favorite? Let's go through that. Fusion, what's your favorite video through each season? Like favorite challenge, but I guess favorite video challenge.
Stick with yours if you have to.
Oh, that's hard. I don't know. I guess my favorite from the first season. Either my Superman, the movie, the ending review. It's certainly been the most popular of all the ones I've made for Who Reviews Reviewers, or the Lance Reviews Who Reviews the Reviewers, because I put quite a bit of work into just doing different camera angles and doing different. It was just quite a.
With that one you do more costume changes than Cher.
Yeah. Too bad I never Cher costume.
I think for first season, for me, I think it might have been Shades' X-Men video.
That was really good.
I like that. Because he was passionate about it because he's a big X-Men fan.
Oh, he really hates that Cyclops got the shaft in that.
That was kind of a negative one in the first season.
Well, he.
Yeah. Oh, that was the same challenge that I did the suit. That was the specifically negative challenge, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look.
What about you, Magpie? What's your favorite in the first season?
In the first season, it's definitely Lance. It's definitely your retrospective review, because I've even taken the liberty of putting that on a DVD just so I can watch it whenever I want.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. Granted, the first time I put it on there with a bunch of stuff from other YouTube channels, but I've taken the liberty of getting some of your stuff. It's mainly just in case it gets you have to take it down due to copyright reasons. The Power Rangers stuff is awesome, by the way. Same as your Star Trek stuff. But yeah, I love that video because it's so awesome. The set, but that's my favorite.
Oh wait, one last thing about the first before we go to the second. I just want to bring up other than the obvious, Fusion, Dan, Shades. The other two I want to bring up because I just want to make sure they don't get forgotten from the first, because they also shine really well. Evil Professor, I love just to conceive, finding all the evil implications of whatever he's reviewing.
Yeah.
So it's so intriguing. I gotta look that guy up again and see what he's done. I just did it today in preparation for the topic. I'm gonna do that after this video too. Also, Mr. Corellian, it was his good flair to it.
Yeah.
Not a lens flare, just a good flair.
Yeah, it's not Abrams.
Yeah. Mr. Corellian. But yeah, that's it for the first season. On to the second. Unless you guys have anything else to add.
No. I don't.
Second?
For season 2, I think my favorite is, I don't know, I really liked, Sid Part 2's, 2001 video. He was still trying to figure out the green screen and getting that the effect wasn't perfect, but it was just such at the time we'd never seen anybody do a review like that for that contest. And I remember being really impressed by just really taking the theme of that movie and really running with it and really, really incorporating that into what he was doing. It felt really professional and really creative.
Yeah, he did a really good job, and I think he's, despite not winning, he's done a great job in finding his own footing and his own voice since then. I think it's really affected him. For me, second season, only because I watched it again recently. I do, if I'm specifically thinking of the contest, it's definitely the one where Sid reviews his idol.
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. It's a great video. But if I can mention this, I really like Milan's goodbye video, because I just love the way Sid comes in through the door in that. And that was, to me, I think that's the best out of that trilogy of goodbye videos, because that's the double lightsaber thing. It's awesome, and the way Milan just backs up from the camera and everything. It's really awesome.
Hey, wasn't the first goodbye video "Thank You for All the Fish" by Coolio, if I'm right? I remember one of them was like, the "Thank You for All the Fish" thing from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I think it was Coolio, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. A few before I think my favorite's probably going to be that Sid Part 2 Kubrick video. Because he was the guy I was rooting for throughout the series. Done a lot of good entries, though, which I'm about to highlight. But I think that one might be my favorite. Just before we move on, let's any big standout moments or like other reviews we should highlight before. Other than the obvious, like
I
Sid
think
Part 2 and the Geeky Gentleman.
Yeah, I think the moment I really started, I think when I started picking superhero enthusiast to win is when he. I think it was. Let me get through this, man.
Oh, sure.
Let me get through this. The video where they had to go to you had to go to a store to do the review. I really thought that was really tongue in cheek, kind of funny. I really like superhero enthusiast wit, and I'm glad that he and I have had at least one conversation on Skype recently, and we are planning on doing a video together soon, and I hopefully that comes out soon, because I really want to do that. Yeah, that moment I really like. That's a personal moment, but I think that's really important, because I really like that video. I have to go back and watch it again. I do like his Matrix review as well. The Matrix, didn't he do Revolutions?
Yes, the third one.
Yeah.
The worst one.
Poor guy.
Poor Captain Logan's friend.
Just. There was a plan to make that into 5 movies at one stage, because they saved so much money making it out here.
It's Wachowski brothers, isn't it?
Yeah. Admittedly, they did a better job with V for Vendetta. I don't care what anyone says. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving is awesome.
Well, he's always awesome. Yeah, but
he even looks good in a skirt.
Well, so does Fusion. A few things to highlight in season 2 before we really get to wrap up on season 3. Laser Dude 99, he was good. He's one of my memorable parts of season 2. I really did like.
He's really good. He was in season 1.
What? He was in 1?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel so stupid now. Sorry, Laser Dude. I met
Laser Dude's awesome. He was. I didn't think I was watching yet when he got eliminated, but I went back and I subscribed to him before I subscribed to Fusion. Sorry.
I did that too. Sorry, Fusion. But yeah, that's
I did. I want to mention this. After Who Reviews the Reviewers wrapped up, I went and checked out everyone's channel, and I checked. This is the first season. I subscribed to Laser Dude because he did a review. I think it must have been during Who Reviews the Reviewers or just before, and he praised a movie that I liked that for some reason people hate, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I had to correct him because he was talking in that video, and no one had corrected him yet, that the villain was preparing for World War II. He was actually preparing for World War One, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so silly. I couldn't." It was either that or the Sherlock Holmes one. I think it was Sherlock Holmes that he was doing other than that. But I subscribed to him because I went through his videos and I really liked what he'd done.
But yeah,
I like your videos, Fusion. I wish you would. I'm glad that you're putting out so many now at the moment.
I'm trying to.
But yeah, Laser Dude was really good. He had an arc himself. You know, he added occasionally lost the shades, but he had the laser gun. He's gone a long way, and he's impressed me. He even gave Cars 2 a fair review, and that I respect. Yeah, some people just bash it because it's not as good a caliber as the rest of them. Doesn't mean it's awful. And anyway, sorry. But yeah, Laser Dude impressed me. I feel so silly that now I think about he was in season 1. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Sorry, Laser Dude, if you're listening, but yeah, hopefully you're listening. You did a great job.
I have all the contestants here in a document because you made me go out and find who was in each season.
I did. I did. Well, that's yeah. That's It's Laser Dude for season 1. Anyway, season 2 moments. Yeah, I liked. Again, I love the Kubrick video, and it'd be funny if Milan's goodbye video was No, not goodbye video. I mean, I remember I heard Captain Logan say or Sid Partu say that if he just spoke in Russian, he had subtitles on for a video. There was a thing of Sid Partu, maybe. It said that would have been hilarious. Any standout moments for 2 for you, Fusion?
For 2?
Yeah, season 2.
Standout moments.
Or players.
I think I think both Sid Partu and Coolio Vids left a little bit sooner than I would have preferred. So basically.
Sid has admitted that he kind of had to rush through his Green Lantern review, and it's unfortunate. And he said that he's glad that was the one he got voted out on, even though he got some criticism for his Stanley Kubrick one. If I had gotten into season 2 and that had been the contest, let me just say this: I would have reviewed a career that I doubt anyone would have wanted to watch a video on. That is not those that were a part of the reviewing panel. That is.
Hey, Magpie. I hate to impose, but could you just quickly read off the contestants in season 1, just in case they are listening to say, we mentioned them.
Okay, season 1 was, of course, Lance, that is here. Shades at Night.
Hooray!
Hello, Shades.
Hi, buddy.
I know you're not... I know... Hey, if we run into each other in a comic book shop, don't get scared.
Do more shedding shade segments in film franchises. I love those.
I do too. I recently listened to one. Tori GNR1. Hello, Tori. Dan.
Howdy, Dan. Talk Spider-Man.
Laser Dude 99.
He was awesome.
The Evil Professor and Mr. Corellian.
Very cool, very creative.
Let me just save some time by reading out season 2 as well now. The Curious Low. Hi, Curious Low.
Howdy, Low.
BK Critic. Sexy Blues, the winner. Sid Part 2.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Sid.
He's a stranger.
Zezabar and my other fellow Australian / Russian.
Honorary Australian.
the honorary Australian Milan Jeftic. I don't care if you don't have a citizenship.
He's not trapped in the airport right now.
No, he's not. Then for season 3, it's Rockman LP, Superhero Enthusiast. Hello, Enthusiast.
Hey!
Sam. He spent hours thinking up that name. Maxwell's Magic Reviews.
Yes.
Infamous Nick. Rob's Rogues Reviews 97.5.
He's good.
Aaron Dicer and Steve O'Cubed.
Yeah. So that's
season that 2. Was a. So yeah, we mentioned season 2.
Final
sorry.
season 2, final season 3 moments before we. No, mention the player. Didn't understand like the moments or anything.
The moments. I think definitely the final was very. It seemed very emotional for you, especially the panelists, especially for Cap for some reason. I was like,
of course, he created all this, Magpie.
Yeah. I hope he's just as enthusiastic when I win.
He's the Walt Disney of the geeky community. This guy.
I wouldn't go that far.
I know. I'm just saying that to him.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy, and hopefully, one day, he'll. He's sent me back messages. I've sent him requests for Trexperts, but I hopefully one day we'll actually have a conversation together.
I'm jealous, but so happy he's doing it. The Pixar discussions.
Yeah.
I hope he has an extra chair for that Pixar commentary, but I can't.
I sent him a message. That he should when the commentary comes around, he should definitely do the Megamind superhero commentary with you.
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe Walt Disney's stretching, but I mean just the guy who's he's seeing how much his work's impacted everything, changed everything, changed the game.
Mm.
But yeah,
I was kind of worried that when they got hooked up with Machinima, they wouldn't be able to do WRTR anymore.
Yeah. Thankfully,
sorry, Lance, we're talking over you. What was your standout moment of season 3? Do you think?
Season 3? Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably be the hardest one because there's just so many awesome moments. But so I guess I'll just say I really liked getting. I really like getting to tell Steve O'Cubed what to make, and him making that Disney Princess video for me.
I love that, by the way. That cracked me up. I was so excited to see that.
I didn't realize you were such a big Disney Princess fan.
Yep.
I knew you were. I knew you were a Trekkie by all the Deep Space Nine stuff you done.
I'm a Disney fan, so I respect that, sir.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be able to listen to the Trek video that me and Superhero Enthusiasts are at least planning to do at this stage. I'm hoping we can get that done soon.
Well, by the way, that reminds me of something. Fusion, were you aware that... Do you watch Geeky Gentleman much, Fusion?
I've seen a little bit. I haven't followed it terribly closely.
Well, you know what they did? I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but for season 3, they had on each contestant that was voted off as kind of part of their revenge initiative. But still, they didn't
have everyone on. They didn't have Sam on yet.
Well, with the exception of Sam, and the Enthusiasts and Rockman haven't been on. Well, oh wait, no, Rockman did something, but it had technical difficulty. Enthusiasts, I'm not sure of yet, and Dicer,
yeah, they did have Enthusiast on.
Oh, they did?
I'm pretty sure.
I know Milan's had Enthusiast on his channel, but either way.
Yeah.
The point is, I love Steve. When Steve O'Cubed was on there, they talked subject very near and dear to my heart. DC animated Justice League show.
I thought that's what Enthusiast did.
No, that's Steve O'Cubed, and he did a good job on that. Just want to highlight that moment. I love that Disney Princess video he did. It was good, and he was great. He was in the top 4, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was. He would also. He would nice to see him go to last round, but still, he was good people in those final 5 and 4.
Oh, admittedly, yeah,
and
it was
3.
hard. Mm.
But yeah, that in addition to that Disney principle, you know, my favorite moment and favorite video is outside of just the awesomeness that was the final three battling out with each other.
What?
It was the Rockman and Slim video. That's my favorite moments. That's my favorite video and moments in the entire, because it looks so good. It was the Maltese Falcon. I love those. It looks so good. Sorry, that's my favorite. I just want to mention that.
Okay, I think we can end the recording here now. Unless there's anything else you want to ask, Blue Dragon 5.
Fusion.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series you can recall?
Probably the first Clayface appearance, Feet of Clay.
Oh, love it. Now let me ask you this: what are your hopes for season 2? What are you expecting to see? I mean, not season 2, for next season, the season 4 of Who Reviews the Reviewers.
I don't know if I could guess what I would expect. I certainly could never have guessed what happened in season 3. Just there's so many creative ideas. I mean, there always, almost always have really awesome reviewers, but just people who are able to take ideas and mold them into such creative shapes. They're things I never would have thought of to have done. So I hope I see more of the same kind of fun, crazy new ideas that I got to see this past season.
Here's a challenge for you, Fusion. It's a mini challenge, so it's a mini physical challenge. No, not really. Briefly review each of your reviewing cohorts. Briefly. I'm waiting.
I don't know. They're all awesome people. I don't know if I can really review them right now off the cuff like this. But I mean,
you don't even want to review Manos.
I don't know. I mean, Manos is the. I mean, he was probably the judge I first connected with when I was a contestant, just with his appreciation for older films, and it has that sort of classiness to him. Vince is really sort of the heavily analytical guy, and
I think he's become the hard judge, to be honest.
Yeah,
he kind of has. Vince is like a Belushi in the background. In the live shows, I always kind of joke in the comments that he's Captain Logan's Belushi. He's always doing something wacky in the background.
Dan is always bringing a lot of fun as well, and Captain Logan is an amazing, wonderful ringleader who I always love getting a chance to talk to when I get a chance to. And I feel I generally try to balance things out by bringing in more of a critique about technical approaches, like you could do this, you could have shot this better, or you could have taken this idea further, stuff like that.
By the way, I remember my actual favorite moment. As much as I love it, that's my favorite video, the Rockman Slim. But I remember my favorite moment of the entire season, even more than the three of those guys having it out in the final round. You know what it is? It's actually not even among the contestants. It's among the judges. My favorite moment is when Dan, out of completely nowhere, as a surprise, he dons the Venom mask and scares the heck out of Venom. Scares the heck out of Manos. And I say heck out of Manos because it just sounds funny, but it's just still... Manos' reaction is hilarious. It cracks you up, and little Captain Logan lost it. That's my favorite moment of that entire season. Even much as I love the final... That final round, that moment makes season 3 better than the rest, if I had to say so. Just that moment. And it's a shame they can never recapture that. I hope Dan, this kind of stupidly, I say, hey Dan, why don't you don the symbiote again, just for old time's sake? Scare a heck out of Manos.
Oh. That was awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that happened on that. I thought it was on an episode of Comic News for some reason. I don't know.
It's like $5 so that happened.
Okay.
Anything you'd like to ask us, Fusion?
No, just the usual. Thanks again for having me on the show. I had a lot of fun doing this, getting to relive some cool Who Reviews the Reviewers experiences.
Yeah, if we think of a topic for our new show, which will be the Confidential Fan Guild, we'll try and get you back on again. Thank you for taking time out of your hectic schedule to join us. I really do appreciate it.
You had to travel through time to get here, Magpie.
Yeah. So, and apologies for because we were going to record this yesterday. I'm sorry that I wasn't unable to do that yesterday, and I really do apologize for that. It was so I'm just so sorry about.
Oh no, I apologize too. We just got our wires crossed a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah. But I think we should end it here because we've been talking for about 2 hours now, and yeah, I think we've covered who reviews the reviewers, and don't forget, everyone, next season I will be the winner because I've made certain insurances of that. You got the check, didn't you, Lance?
Are you threatening their families also, Magpie? Just to sink it on in there?
No. Shut up, Sarah.
Jason, get back here! Jason, Lindsay, don't push that button!
Yeah, okay.
Vince!
Yeah, so goodbye, and yeah, and Lance, check is in the mail.